government panel recently recommended some people take an aspirin a day to help prevent cardiovascular disease and colon cancer. That adds more fuel to the already fiery debate over the benefits of aspirin and some other pain relievers. As Lori Johnson reports, for some people, that may do more harm than good.
Robert Carnes is fine now, but not long ago he panicked when he thought he was having a heart attack because his family needs him.
The chest pains were pretty bad and they were really scary.
As it turns out, he wasn't having a heart attack. His chest pains were caused by ulcers, brought on by taking an over-the-counter pain reliever he regularly picked up at the corner drugstore for sinus problems.
That surprised me. I had no clue.
The type of pain reliever Robert took is called an NSAID, short for non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug. NSAIDs include naproxen like Aleve, ibuprofen like Motrin and Advil, and aspirin. NSAIDs are responsible for a reported 16,000 deaths each year and 100,000 hospitalizations from things like kidney failure, heart attack, stroke, and ulcers.
So really everybody's at risk, but the people who are really at the greatest risk are those who may be taking other medications that could also interfere with the stomach. Say someone who's on a blood thinning medicine, people who are on steroids for other medical diseases, the elderly, people who are hospitalized, have other stresses on their intestinal system, can also be at much higher risk than the general population.
Dr. Daniel Newman says Robert was wise to seek help right away and advises everyone to talk to their doctor about all the medications they're taking, even over-the-counter ones. Discuss how much you're taking, how often, and any unusual symptoms.
Develop a change in the color of your stool, black, tarry bowel movements. You start to have vomiting or nausea, you're throwing up stuff that looks like coffee, black coffee ground-like material. Even in the absence of pain, this could be a sign of intestinal bleeding, and stop that medication and notify your doctor right away.
The good news is many of us can reduce painful inflammation a different way without taking an NSAID, by switching to an anti-inflammatory diet. One that's low in sugar, white carbohydrates like bread and pasta, trans fats, also known as hydrogenated oils, industrialized vegetable oils, and chemical food additives. These highly inflammatory items are found in abundance in processed foods. On the other hand, anti-inflammatory foods are ones that are in their original state, including unrefined fats like fish oil, coconut oil, and olive oil, raw nuts, avocados, and lots of colorful fruits and vegetables. Lori Johnson, CBN News.
Thanks, Lori. Pat, that anti-inflammatory diet sounds like they tore a page right from your book.
Amen. Do you ever take those things? NSAIDs?
I don't have headaches or...
You don't take ibuprofen or any of that? No? Okay. You know that TV commercial with the truck driver who's got sore knees, and he says, you can't take my Aleve, just 2 Aleves, 2 Aleves, a couple of Aleves.
Well, the problem with...
This is naproxen, and I'll tell you what I did. I was hurting in my knees or my shoulder or something, and they've been advertising. I was taking a blood thinner for my heart, and it was called Xarelto. So, okay, I said, I'll just take a couple of these things, and that did it.
The two together, yeah.
In the iron in my blood, it was supposed to be between 15 parts and 50 parts per unit of whatever they were testing. Mine was coming in at 9.
Oh, wow.
And I was bleeding like crazy and wasn't even aware of it. But look at these things. But, you know, they advertise just, you can't take my Aleve. It's brilliant advertising. This is naproxen. This is very strong. Okay. This is Motrin. This is ibuprofen. Motrin and some of the others are all the same. But Nolan Ryan, a great pitcher, he was always using, here's Advil and Motrin, they're the same thing. And these guys were saying, well, I can pitch, you know, forever because I'm taking Motrin or Advil or what have you.
Well, I think a lot of people take those things daily when they have consistent extreme pain in a joint, like you're...
Well, before I started lifting weight, I used to take extra strength Excedrin, and I'd pop a couple of them because, you know, when you start pushing and you got all that, you don't want to push through pain, so it takes care of the pain. And that eats your stomach up, and it kills people. 16,000 deaths and 100,000 people in the hospital because of these things. Folks, it is dangerous, especially Aleve, which is naproxen. Naproxen is very powerful stuff, and a couple of these is about 500 milligrams of naproxen.
And sometimes people don't think, as you're saying, about the other things that they're taking. Almost everything interacts with each other, so
well, even if you don't, this is aspirin. A couple of these aspirin will do the same thing. It'll eat your stomach up.
And a lot of people are doing that as the heart attack preventative.
I know, they say, oh, we'll take a little baby aspirin every day. All right, this is whatever it is. But anyhow, folks, save your life, but I take it from one who knows, and they got me on one of those, you know, for a couple of times. He had an infusion where he was pumping iron into my blood straight on
trying to correct the
to build
loss,
up. I was getting anemic, but because of that stuff, it's bleeding. I mean, you're inside bleeding, and not even aware of it. Don't take away my Aleve. Just a couple of Advil or Motrin.
Well, there you go. Be careful what you put in your mouth.
Be careful what